Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official college football week number 7 top 5 parlays. And guys, you wouldn't believe it. Late last week, I received a phone call from the Attorney General of the United States who wanted to inform me that he is restricting my online betting account due to the winning, due to the inflation that I've caused. And guys, I did receive another email last week from somebody who said, dude, you made me a billionaire. It's unbelievable. Guys, at this point, it's getting ridiculous. We've bankrupted Venezuela. The inflation here in America is getting ridiculous. They're trying to restrict me. I've been using VPNs. Of course, guys, I love all the comments, the gratitude, the support in this community. It's so uplifting. It's so inspiring. And that is why I am writing a future New York Times bestseller. It's going to be the most uplifting book ever. And it's going to talk about all of the people that I've made billionaires. There are so many. So guys, we've got the safe parlay here. Of course, this is the parlay that's been banned in multiple countries. Number 1, South Alabama, money line versus UL Monroe. Safe and secure. That's the name of the game. Safe and secure. And guys, South Alabama is really underrated. They're around 17-point favorites. But again, we want to be safe. We want to be gentle. We want to be delicate. Delicate here. We want to make sure this is going to win. So we are taking South Alabama just on the money line. Just on the money line. The next leg, it's going to be Toledo money line versus Kent State. Guys, Toledo is a good football team. They really are. They're not like other MAC schools. They are around a top 60 team in the FBS right now. They're 9-point favorites at home against Kent State. They've got a very good dual threat quarterback. I will take them, parlaying it as well on the money line there. Number 3, guys, trust Minnesota football. This is the one. Take a leap of faith. This line, this spread opened Minnesota -4. It got bet up immediately to Minnesota -6.5 on the road at Illinois. Guys, Illinois has one and done written all over them, meaning they enter the rankings for the first time in forever, and then they immediately lose. This game has parity written all over it. Minnesota's due for a win after that brutal loss to Purdue, while Illinois, in my opinion, is due for a home loss. Minnesota will shut down Chase Brown, the running back for Illinois, force them to throw the ball. And, of course, Minnesota's very well rested going into this game. Trust Minnesota football. Gentle, delicate on the money line there. Number 4, Notre Dame money line versus Stanford. This is basically a free one. Notre Dame's on an absolute warpath. They're a top 15 team right now in college football. They're destroying everyone. They just crushed BYU by 8 points. It should have been a lot worse, by the way. They outgained BYU by over 200 yards. They've got a phenomenal, underrated defense. People overreacted. The casual fans overreacted to the Marshall loss. Notre Dame's completely turned their season around. They're looking phenomenal. They're 17-point favorites at home. I'll just take them on the money line easily. And then we're going against Michigan State, the complete dumpster fire. I'll take Wisconsin on the road. Wisconsin looking good last week, throwing the ball around the field. Michigan State, horrible secondary, pretty much horrible everything. Michigan State is not a good offensive team. They're not a good defensive team. Wisconsin with Jim Leonard, newfound hope. I like Wisconsin to win this game, so that's just 5 straight money line picks. And the overall odds on that one are plus 200 for the safe parlay. Moving on to my second parlay, I'll take Maryland at Indiana. We'll go the under, 61.5. It was 62. It's been bet down. All of the models, all of the advanced analytics are saying take the under. That might be a warning to take the over, but I will trust them here. And honestly, guys, it does make sense. I mean, if you've got a final score of like 42-14 or 42-17, I mean, the under is hitting. And do we really think Maryland is going to score like 50 points on the road in probably a rain game at Indiana? Yeah, guys, I've got a major vibe that this game is going to involve rain. I've not looked at the forecast or anything. It's just a vision I'm seeing. It's going to be a very wet game. You're looking at a lower scoring type thing, lower scoring atmosphere, 3:30 start, cloudy day, overcast, the ball is wet, Maryland doesn't want to be there, Indiana sucks. Lower scoring, guys, lower scoring. Tennessee plus the 7 at home versus Alabama. This is, probably the biggest game of the weekend. And guys, it just seems like a lot would have to go right for Alabama to cover this spread. You've got Bryce Young's injury. He's probably going to play, but he might be limited. You've got Alabama's receivers' inability to create separation. You have Tennessee, a team that can create many offensive explosive plays. You've got an absolutely electric environment there on the campus of Tennessee. You've got College Game Day there. Even if Tennessee loses this game, it's got to be close, and I think they at least keep it within 7 in my opinion. And then this is a short parlay. It's just a 3-legger. I'll take Baylor moneyline, and I'll trust Baylor football on the road in a Thursday night matchup with West Virginia. To me, this is great value. I think they're -3. I would be shocked if Baylor, who already has 2 losses, loses this game as well. I understand why they're only -3. West Virginia does have at least a little talent, and they are at home during the week. It's a hostile environment for Baylor, but I trust their head coach. I trust Baylor football. I've done some growing. I've done some reflection, and I've actually matured, and now I trust Baylor, guys, and that is the 3-team parlay there, plus 479, smaller parlay for that one. Moving on to my number 3 parlay, it's going to be Rice at FAU. I'll take the over 56. Guys, this is a game I'm just getting a huge over vibe on. I can't really say exactly why. FAU is a team that has a veteran quarterback that can score. I think FAU is around 4-point favorites in this one, so it would not surprise me at all if we get a very competitive, sneaky shootout. Yes, sneaky shootout type game into the fourth quarter with maybe like a 41-38 final score and the over 56 easily hitting. Next, I'll take Northern Illinois straight up on the money line at Eastern Michigan. So Northern Illinois, 2.5-point underdogs. But guys, if you actually look at the advanced metrics, the overall luck ratings, Northern Illinois should be a lot better than their record, and Eastern Michigan should be worse than their record. Guys, this is a correction game. Northern Illinois will win this game on the road straight up, even as 2.5-point underdogs. Miami at Virginia Tech, the over 46.5. So I don't know if last week was a complete aberration for Virginia Tech's rush defense, but I mean, they had that performance last week, and their over-under is 46.5. Tyler Van Dyke possibly getting back on track last week, throwing for 500 yards. I don't know, guys. Maybe this is one. It's college football. You can't explain it. Maybe Virginia Tech and their defense comes back and just completely shuts down Miami at home. That could certainly happen. But I think 46.5 is a low number for college football, especially for a Virginia Tech defense that just got annihilated against Pittsburgh, gave up 6 rushing touchdowns. Number 4, Florida moneyline versus LSU. So, I mean, flip a coin on this game. I love the over for this one, but it already got bet up, I think, to 51. Either way, I just think Florida at home is good value. Anthony Richardson is going to be out to prove NFL scouts that he is a first-round pick. He's got a lot, he's got a lot of motivation to play really well. He's had trouble throwing the ball. Florida's at home in the swamp. They're desperate for a win. They've got to get this one. And LSU is a team who just got crushed at home. They have no momentum right now. I will take Florida to win this game outright. So that is the overall 4-team parlay, the overall odds on that one. Moving on to my 4th parlay, we're going to go North Carolina on the money line at Duke. So guys, this is one progressively throughout the week I felt less and less and less confident on. And what I'll say is Duke can score. North Carolina, I think, is a little bit worse than their record, in my opinion, and based on how bad North Carolina's defense is, they probably should at least be a 2-loss team. I mean, they have a horrible defense. It's a rivalry game. It's at Duke. I want to caution people on this one. I am taking North Carolina, on the money line in this parlay, but there's a lot of warning signs for that point to Duke possibly winning this game. I will say that there are a lot of warning signs. We're going to trust North Carolina football, but That one's interesting. Number 2, Western Kentucky money line at Middle Tennessee State. I love Western Kentucky. They're a very solid team. I think they're around 6.5, maybe 7-point favorites in terms of spread, but it's a parlay. I believe this is a full money line parlay, so I'll just take Western Kentucky to win this game outright on the road. Troy money line versus Texas State. Troy has a really good defense. They're a really underrated team, and you're also getting this one at least a little bit discounted. Texas State crushed Appalachian State last week. I do not think they can repeat a performance like that, especially on the road. I will take Troy on the money line. Air Force at UNLV, I'll take the under 50. So every week we seemingly have one of these really late night, 10:30, 11 o'clock games go way under. And by way under, I mean like the final score is 20-17. This week, I think the Air Force UNLV is the game. I'm sensing it. I can predict it. And then number 5, we're going to go the Purdue money line versus Nebraska. So Nebraska, they've gotten a few wins, but that game against Rutgers, they actually should have lost. I mean, they were outgained, which is just crazy because how bad Rutgers is. Purdue, on the other hand, they're on an absolute warpath. They're probably one of the more underrated teams in college football right now. If they would have beaten Penn State in week 1, they would be in the top 20 at least, probably the top 15. Aiden O'Connell is absolutely playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. I will take Purdue at home on the money line. Be safe because it is a parlay. So that's a 5-team parlay plus 362 for that one. Moving on to my 5th parlay. This one is also all money line. Troy money line versus Texas State. So that's probably a mistake. Normally, I don't take 2 teams on different parlays because like if Troy loses, that means 2 of my parlays are screwed. But I do think Troy is going to win at home against Texas State, but that probably is a mistake. Number 2, Tulane, the money line at South Florida. Tulane is an underrated football team. South Florida is really bad. Last week, I think we can all agree it was an aberration versus Cincinnati. They were competitive, but Tulane is good. They're going to win this game on the road. They are -11 overall, I believe. Texas football on the money line versus Iowa State. Iowa State's 0-3 in conference. They're 17-point underdogs. They just don't have an offense. They just simply don't have an offense. I will take Texas. And then a few NFL games. I'll take the Packers money line versus the Jets. So the Packers should certainly get back on track after that bad London performance, and that's kind of a correction game. The Jets winning, they're due for a loss. The Packers losing, they're due for a win. And then I'll also take the LA Rams on the money line versus a Panthers team that just fired their head coach. The Baker Mayfield injury, a lot of problems with them. We will parlay those 5 money line picks and come out to plus 134 on that one. And then I also do have this random one I just threw in that's even more crazy. UAB -2,500. South Alabama. Buffalo at UMass on the money line. Purdue, again, I love Purdue. UCF -3,500. And then, guys, I do love Cincinnati. The Bengals on the money line at New Orleans. And then I've also got Tampa Bay going up against a rookie quarterback. That's just a bonus, 6 parlay, whatever. I just threw it together because it's fun to kind of do that type of stuff. But guys, either way, that is going to do it for my top 5 parlays for college football week number 7. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.